These are 5 EV charger brands quietly draining more than your battery, and 5 that actually deliver what they promise. Whether you drive an EV or you're thinking about buying one, the charger you choose is one of the most consequential decisions you'll make. Get it right, and charging fades into the background. Get it wrong, and you're disputing fees, staring at a broken screen, or owning a charger whose company doesn't exist anymore. This ranking comes from real data. J.D. Power's 2025 study of roughly 7,428 owners found that 14% of drivers who visited a public charger that year couldn't actually charge, an improvement from 19% the year before, but still 1 in 7 attempts failing. Consumer Reports surveyed 1,230 owners and ranked networks by how often sessions went wrong. And a monitoring company called Parent found that networks self-report roughly 92% uptime, while real-world measurements came in closer to 84%. That gap between claims and reality runs through this whole list. Let's start with the 5 making EV ownership harder than it needs to be. Number 5 is EVgo. It owns most of its own stations, which should mean tighter quality control, but Consumer Reports found 41% of its sessions came with a reported problem, and J.D. Power gave it a DC fast charging score of 579, below average. The pricing isn't a scam. The chargers just don't work often enough. Number 4 is Blink Charging. In August 2020, short seller firms accused Blink of vastly exaggerating its working network after finding a significant share of its stations non-functional, and the stock dropped 22% in 2 days, followed by a securities class action. In August 2023, Blink disclosed an SEC subpoena, and the stock fell another 14%. That investigation reportedly closed around August 2025. More importantly for drivers, J.D. Power's 2025 study gave Blink the lowest DC fast charging score of any network, 501 out of 1,000, and it landed last in Level 2 charging too. Number 3 is Electrify America, born out of Volkswagen's Dieselgate settlement. In August 2023, it switched to dynamic station-specific pricing, raised its Pass Plus membership from $4 to $7 a month, and started charging 40 cents a minute in idle fees after a 10-minute grace period. Complaints describe customers charged idle fees for sessions that silently ended without warning, account balances draining unexplained, and stations sitting broken for over 10 days. Number 2 is Wallbox, and this one's about the company's finances, not its service. SEC filings show losses of €151.8 million in 2024 and €103.2 million in 2025, leaving it with negative equity and just €4.4 million in cash against €164.7 million in debt. Its auditor issued a going concern warning. Shares fell below $1, triggering an NYSE non-compliance notice, and Wallbox has since gone through a court-supervised restructuring. It hasn't shut down, but a smart charger is only as reliable as the company behind its software. Number 1 is NLX and its Juicebox charger, the story that shows exactly what can go wrong. Juicebox was acquired in 2017 by NLX Energy, the North American arm of an Italian energy giant ranked 59th in the world by revenue. On October 2, 2024, NLX announced it was shutting down its entire North American business, and 9 days later the software went dark. Roughly 25,000 commercial chargers were bricked instantly, and around 100,000 residential units lost every smart feature overnight, becoming dumb chargers with zero support. Consumer Reports and USPIRG, joined by 60 owners, sent a formal letter to the FTC calling it, quote, an egregious example of how companies are controlling the functionality of a product even after the consumer has purchased the device. The root problem was technical. Juicebox chargers weren't properly built on OCPP, the open standard that lets hardware switch to a new backend, so when Enel walked away, owners had no clean path forward. That's the worst-case scenario for connected hardware. Now let's look at the brands actually getting this right. Number 5 is the Rivian Adventure Network, with just a 5% problem rate in Consumer Reports survey, second only to Tesla, because Rivian owns its charging stack end-to-end. Number 4 is Red E, a small regional network that scored 668 out of 1,000 in J.D. Power's DC fast charging rankings, the highest of any third-party network, beating ChargePoint, Electrify America, and EVgo. Bigger clearly isn't automatically better. Number 3 is Grizzly, made in Canada, with no APP and nothing to go dark if the company has a bad quarter. The Classic runs $300 to $400, delivers up to 40 adjustable amps, and carries a 3-year warranty. It's still ranked 3rd overall in J.D. Power's 2024 home charging study, beaten only by Emporia and Tesla. Number 2 is ChargePoint, the largest EV network in North America. Consumer Reports gave it the best problem rate of any non-Tesla network at 21%, well ahead of Electrify America's 35% and EVgo and Blink's 41%. Its Home Flex charger runs $550 to $700, adjusts from 16 to 50 amps, and carries a 3-year warranty. Number 1 is Tesla, topping both lists. The supercharger network has ranked first in satisfaction every year J.D. Power has run the study, scoring 709 in 2025 against a third-party average of 591, and Tesla has led home chargers 4 years straight with a score of 790. Consumer Reports measured just a 4% problem rate on superchargers, the lowest of anything tested. Since Tesla opened its network to other automakers in 2022, non-Tesla owners have rated it 706, 42 points above the overall average. The wall connector runs from $475 to $600 and carries a 4-year warranty, the longest on this list. Tesla isn't flawless. Its own owners rated satisfaction slightly lower in 2024 due to congestion, but it still leads every data set by a wide margin. So that's the full picture. 5 brands where the data, and in Juicebox's case, an actual shutdown, point toward real risk. 5 brands where the numbers run the other way. The pattern underneath it all is that gap between claimed uptime and reality, 92% on paper against 84% in the real world. That's not a reason to avoid an EV. It's a reason to be careful which brand you trust with it. Because as Juicebox owners learned in October 2024, a charger that works perfectly today is only as reliable as the company still standing behind it tomorrow. That's the full picture. 5 brands where the data, and in Juicebox's case, an actual shutdown, point toward real risk. 5 brands where the numbers consistently run the other way. But here's the thing worth remembering. None of these companies are static. The Wallbox is mid-restructuring right now. Blink's investigation only wrapped up recently, and Electrify America keeps changing its pricing every year or so. The brand that's worth it today might not be the brand that's worth it in 12 months, which is exactly why it pays to check the current numbers before you buy, not just take a YouTube video's word for it. If there's one thing all this data agrees on, it's that the gap between what these companies promise and what they actually deliver is real and it's measurable. 92% claimed uptime against 84% in reality isn't a rounding error, it's a pattern. If this saved you from a bad decision or confirmed one you already made, let me know in the comments which brand surprised you most. And if you want more breakdowns like this before you spend real money on EV gear, subscribe because this industry moves fast enough that today's winner could be next year's cautionary tale.